is prepared for this shit for fucking 365 days. I think about them fuckers in that locker room. Think about getting our opportunity. All the shit you went through this week to get ready for this game, now is when you pay the fucking price. You go out there with energy, enthusiasm. Hey guys, ain't nobody in this room should be cautious. Ain't nobody in this room should be nervous about shit. Go out here and fuck their ass up. Don't think about scoreboard. Don't think about shit. You think about knocking the shit out of them. Did you hear what Fox said on Monday? When I sat in that fucking meeting, I wanted to go fucking play right then. Tore your shit up out here. 2 years ago, fucked your shit up. Goddamn pride and joy tells me you fuck these guys up. You go play the right way. You play the right way. You knock their ass off. You stay off the fucking ground. You tackle the fucking man with the ball. The shit's easy. Look at the right shit. Punish their ass on offense and kick their ass on special teams, guys. It's about who the fuck we are. I believe in you. Let's go.
Yeah. Drinking dope, turn me to a superhero. Yeah. Hit that pill, turn me to a superhero. Yeah.
All right, and we're beginning. What's up, guys? I'm back. It's a new year. First of all, happy new year to everyone that's out there. I haven't done this since I want to say November, December. So we're back here with a new episode of Jerry and Friends, the January edition of it. I'm here with my guy, Connor Kuck, two-time national champion, UGA.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Back to back.
Yeah, man.
Love it.
How does it feel, first of all? Like,
it's unreal. I was thinking about it before I hopped on the call. Obviously when I chose to go to school here, like I didn't expect, for our program to win like this. I think last year around this time, I was thinking to myself, like, how blessed I am to just be able to go, to school during the time of winning a national championship, and working for the organization as well. So to be able to do it and, back to back years, I think it's incredible. And it's something you can't really expect, because it's only happened a handful of times. So
oh
it was
yeah.
awesome.
Oh yeah, and when I was at A&T, we won back-to-back HBCU national championships,
Wow.
but it's nowhere to the level of you guys. Like you guys are literally SEC greats now. Like you guys have etched your name in SEC history, college football history. So huge congrats to that. You brought up you work for the organization. Kind of elaborate on what you've been doing there at Georgia.
Yeah, so I work as a creative video intern. So I mean, pretty much exactly what it means, right? So, we're shooting practice, and making videos during the week, and then we're shooting games as well. And it's sort of capturing the history and the story of this program, of this team. And so I think, it's been awesome being able to do that. So it's my second year with the team, which, I'm so happy about, just because, it's way more fun to work for an organization when we're winning.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm a good luck charm because I only have one loss, but yeah. So we're pushing out content on all four of more than four, I guess, all of our social media channels. We have a lot of followers, so it's kind of cool to see, especially around this time, we're the only ones really posting, because we're the ones that won.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see all that content being pushed out now. It's just so much fun to make, and I really enjoyed it. So it's really, really fun to be able to tell that story and also be a part of it.
Yeah. So what would you say has probably been like some of your best work that you've created with that UGA creative team?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten a chance to try a lot of different things. So like during this season, a lot of times I'd have some in-house stuff that only the players would see to get them hyped up, or sort of recap. So for example, like on Mondays, I would do like a wide receiver video for the wide receiver group, and that's allowed me to experiment a little bit. Have some fun, do some more effects, and stuff that maybe I wouldn't put on a social media.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like we have a lot of NFL content as well, and so my boss really loves pushing out that content. It's great to see and keep up with dogs in the NFL. So it's good from a fan standpoint to see what are our favorite dogs doing that got drafted.
Yeah.
And it's also great from a recruiting standpoint as well. Kids that see these NFL players with longevity, will want to go to university that'll breed that kind of just tenacity, I suppose. But I think it's a lot of fun making that kind of content. I love the NFL content. I think it's fun. There was a project that I did like 2 weeks ago. I think it was a week after we won. And there was my boss came to me with this idea. Um, Kirby had or Coach Smart had a interview, pregame interview, and they basically asked him like, "What's the game plan?" Right? And
Mhm.
he just goes aggression, and she was like, "That's it," and he was like, "Yep, just aggression." And I think making that video and just focusing on aggression, there were so many highlights in that game, and I had to go through and just determine, what were the most aggressive points of that game, because so much happened. I mean, 65 points. I mean, that's a lot of points.
That's a
So
lot.
there's a lot to go through, and a lot of really cool moments that I thought really encapsulated that. So that was a fun project that I did recently. I think around this time, since we're not really shooting games and not highlighting that kind of stuff as much, it'll be fun to kind of do some more different projects. I think I'll probably have a couple ideas floating around this spring that I want to push out.
Yeah.
That are just kind of a different change of pace. Not everything needs to be a hype video, or
Yeah.
there's a lot we can do this spring, I think, and so I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to grow this spring.
Nice, nice.
But I did. So my roommate is also a player on the team, and you got the chance to visit Athens and kind
Yeah.
of be a part of that story. So
Oh yeah.
well, I mean, I guess I'll go ahead and tell everyone. So Jerry was able to come to Athens to visit for the Tennessee game. So you were part of that story, and you got to see and meet Graham, who's a linebacker on the team. So I do have his rings here. I have a ring as well, but it's at home. I want to keep it safe. But he has a safe. So so
Uh-oh.
here is
Look at the blink.
there's the ring right there.
Oh my gosh. Man, just look at that.
So his name and number on one side, and then the logo is along with the score on the other. Well, you can see
Yeah.
that. And then let's see. On the inside, it says the first championship at Georgia in 42 years. Um, so that's the ring that we got from the university. Um, he also has a bowl ring as well from the Orange Bowl.
I
So
think it's so cool that you guys get multiple rings for like each bowl leading up to the Natty.
yeah,
Right?
it
That is
is cool.
nice.
I think like in years prior, they would only accept the bowl ring if they won the playoff games following. Because
Gotcha.
I'm pretty sure 2018, I don't think they accepted the Rose Bowl ring.
Ah,
I'm not quite sure. Which that's like the best bowl game to get a ring
yeah,
from. But
yeah.
regardless, then here's the CFP one. So only the players and the coaches get this one. So it's kind of a little exclusive. But
Yeah, that's nice.
yeah, score as well. So
Yeah. Shout out my man Big G, man.
yeah, the only one missing from that last year is the SEC championship. So I will say that felt really good to get this year. I mean, I haven't got the ring yet, but to
Yeah.
just kind of check that off the list. Um, it's pretty incredible to be able to go 15-0 like that. And last year, just we weren't able to do that.
Hmm.
So, but I think it's a different story though. I mean, the team is so different to me. Because like obviously we expected to be good. We still had some key players, but we lost a lot on defense. Obviously,
Oh yeah.
like 15 draft picks. That's insane. You lost a lot of your team.
Oh yeah.
So, and I didn't really have you know, obviously the expectation was high because we just came
Mhm.
off, the highest you can get. But, to expect to go back to back is kind of asking a lot. So, I will say I was a little surprised, how dominant we were able to be this season. And I think the SC championship game was kind of a statement game a little bit,
Oh yeah.
just because, dropping 50 points and just making it known like that we wanted to win that game. So that was
Now,
cool. It was a great season.
I do have a follow-up question regarding the SEC championship. LSU had a great season. They did deserve to play you guys. But do you think the game would have still been that much of a demolition on your behalf if you guys would have met Bama instead of LSU?
Okay. Let me just start off by saying this, just to clear the air about Bama.
Hmm.
I think that Bama could have beaten every team in the playoff. Well, except for us, I think. But I think they definitely could have beaten TCU, Ohio State, Michigan.
Hmm.
I think it would have been good games, but I think they're still, it's kind of unfortunate the way their season went, yeah, losing to LSU and losing to Tennessee by, a
Yeah.
walk-off field goal and touchdown. I mean, it's just like you can't really make that up. Or was it a 2-point conversion?
The
Might have been a
2 point.
2-point conversion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is almost, it stings more.
Yeah.
So it's tough. I think everyone plays their best game against Bama. I think
Mhm.
Nick Saban has made that known. I do think that matchup would have been definitely a closer matchup.
Oh yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
that was the only kind of question, about this team was like, we never went through Bama this season. We just kind of like Stetson said, we kind of ran out of games. We just never played them. But yeah, I mean that's even if they had played us an SEC championship versus LSU, I still think even if we had like somehow lost that game, I mean
Yeah.
they could have been in the playoff, but it would have been a similar story to last year. I think from like a fan perspective, like I don't know, like a general person watching in America, I guess, like I think people are kind of tired of seeing like Georgia Bama like every couple of years, but I think it's a great matchup.
No, yeah.
That would have been an awesome game for sure.
It would have been a lot more better game than what TCU did, because I know you were there in
Yeah,
SoFi, and
yeah.
just at what point, because I know as a fan, I know what point I knew it was over. Once I saw Duggan throw a interception, I was like, oh yeah, they done kind of got in his head. But what point, as you were there, you knew, oh yeah, it's going to get ugly.
I mean, it. I never even stopped to like think about that because in the moment there was just so much happening. Like every other second, it feels like we're scoring a touchdown. It just never stopped. So, you know, I never really even thought like, all right, like this is going to be a blowout. It was just happening in front of me.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool because when they brought Stetson out, and kind of waved goodbye for the last time, that was when I was like, all right, like, I mean, like we know it's over already, but like
Yeah.
there it is. Like that was kind of the moment where I felt like we had like not like sealed the deal because we already sealed it, but like we had won. Like if the game was, you might as well like leave the field.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Kind of tell me
But
about the experience at the Peach Bowl, that Ohio State game. That was an intense
oh
one.
yeah, I mean, geez, I didn't think we were gonna win that game at one point. I will say, one piece I'll be missing next year is AD Mitchell. That go ahead touchdown was insane. But I think we did not deserve to win that. So oh man, they played well. I mean,
Yeah.
so I think a couple of things happened. I think number one, like there was a little bit of like underestimating Ohio State a little bit. Like my friends, people that weren't really involved with the football team, were like, all right, like now we know, like once Michigan had lost, they're like, all right, now we know it's TCU Georgia, and I go, guys, like we have to get through this game still. Like Ohio State's a good team,
Mhm.
and I think it was kind of a wake up call a little bit, just because wow, what a game! I think it was probably the best game I've been to in person.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I thought I was going to have a heart attack. I think I got probably like 10 or 15 texts of just people sending their Apple Watches because their heart rate was so high, just
Yeah.
naturally.
Yeah.
I mean, just it was so stressful. And that last kickoff, I mean, just feeling the energy in that room when not only from Georgia fans being excited, but you could just see the souls of many Ohio State
Ohio
fans
State
in their
fan, yeah.
bodies.
Because he butchered the kick, and I was just like,
I
what?
know, and there looks like the hold was fine, and it wasn't blocked or tipped. Just missed it.
Hey,
So
the lights were too bright.
yeah, Cowboys. I heard the Cowboys might pick him up next week.
Oh man. Maher Jr.
Yeah,
That is hilarious. That is
yeah.
hilarious.
No, that was a crazy game. Though. I mean, that was probably the best game I've ever seen in my life in person. I mean, I will say you probably saw a game that was, you know, hyped up more though.
Yeah.
Tennessee game. I mean, that was a game of the century.
Oh yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
and a rivalry too. Whereas Ohio State Georgia, not really a rivalry per se, but it's still two really passionate fan bases. So it was still a game for the century before that game as well. But a lot of really good matchups this year.
Let's bring up that Georgia Tennessee, because first of all, thank you for being such a great host to me and Titus. Like we still talk about that to this day. All-time experience, but the build up to that, like they really hyped it up to be one of the greatest SEC matchups ever.
Yeah.
You guys came in as the underdog. Kind of tell me, like, what was the mantra for the team seeing that the CFP really had them. What were you guys like, ranked 3 at the time?
Uh, two. It was one. And oh wait, actually, you know what? I think on this the playoff it was three. Yeah, you're right.
Hmm.
So, but it was the AP poll had us at one, and the CFP had us at three, and so
Hmm.
they were at one. So it was basically like 1 and 1, 1 and 2, whatever you want to call it,
Yeah,
1 and 3. But yeah, I mean, they did a great job of hyping that game up. I mean, Tennessee has a pretty passionate fan base, and they were playing super well. Their offense was hot. I think there were a lot of questions of whether or not we could beat them at the time, just because they were really hot.
hmm.
Um, I think I've experienced a lot of really hyped up games, like 2019 LSU night game,
Oh yeah.
uh, or sorry, Notre Dame, 2019 Notre Dame. Super hyped up. It was a night game. It was the first time Georgia had like the red lights,
Wow.
insane environment. It was awesome. But I think in terms of the hype surrounding the game and just I think the way we went about it, other than it not being a night game, I think that game was probably the most hyped up game of all the whole season. Um, I mean, I've never been in a louder stadium in my life. I
Man,
mean, my ears were ringing after that.
the
Uh,
whole time.
yeah, I mean, it was awesome. That
It
that I think, but to answer your question, I think the mantra a little bit was like, I kind of like coming in as the underdog, so I like that. But it was kind of like to shut them up, right? It was
oh yeah.
like a little bit of like, there's a lot of noise surrounding Tennessee. Whether or not we can beat them, like everyone's kind of taking their side. Like I think the mantra is like, kind of cut it. Let's just show them. Let's go out there and show them.
Yeah.
I think we did. I think if you watch the tape, right, we dominated that game. I
The
mean,
entire
the
time.
score doesn't really reflect like how much we actually dominated them, especially defensively.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I mean, they couldn't get anything going, and it felt like at that point it felt like we could go all the way, just because there's so much hype surrounding Tennessee.
Yeah.
It just felt like they were the best team at the time, other than us, obviously, because we beat them. But
Hmm.
no, it really felt like we're on top of the world there for a moment as well. And I think you being there and experiencing that environment, is a testament to how amazing it was too.
Yeah,
So
man. It was just awesome. First the crowd was just electric the entire game. And then when it rained, it just felt like the energy just turned up. And that's when I was just like, whoa. But I think the biggest takeaway I got from that game, I really was watching Jalen Carter. He's a projected first pick in this NFL's draft. And
yeah,
just seeing how dominant he was both sides of the ball, I can remember I looked at Max. I said, Max, he might go number one. Like, I don't care what nobody says, but that guy, he is
yeah,
ridiculous. And yeah,
I know
he
he's
does it
he's
on the
he's so good. And I think the only way he doesn't go number one is if he gets that trade gets, or sorry, if that pick gets traded,
oh
because the
yeah.
Bears. Well, I guess he could probably go, like second or third overall as well.
Hmm.
It
Hmm.
just depends what the Bears want because the Bears don't need a QB.
Yeah, exactly.
So
They're gonna need that edge. So, and I
yeah,
think I think Carter's
yeah.
that best guy for you guys.
And
So,
the Bears, honestly, the Bears do a good job of drafting defensive guys too.
hmm.
They do a good job. Khalil Mack.
Khalil, come on, Roquan Smith.
I'm sure yeah, the Rokon just got paid.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
big money.
So there's
So,
there's a lot of really. I mean, I think the Bears are defensive minded in their drafting sometimes. So
hmm.
I could see them doing it, but I just don't know if it's going to happen. First overall. But I think a lot of the ESPN projections I've been seeing have them as number one overall. So it'd be
Yeah.
cool to see. Again.
Again, back to back number ones. That would be
I
awesome.
know
That would be awesome.
it's crazy, so
Kind of
crazy.
tell me. So I want to say when you first got to UGA, Stetson Bennett wasn't the man yet. So kind of your whole college career, you saw the growth and him go from this walk-on backup guy to one of the greatest SEC quarterbacks to ever do it.
Yeah.
Kind of tell me the evolution of Stetson Bennett and like from what you've seen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when I came to college, Jake Fromm was our quarterback, and there was a lot of trust in him at the time. So like everyone knew he was QB1.
Hmm.
Um, I think Jake is a good quarterback. I think it just didn't really quite cut it. I think we were close those years, but
Hmm.
not quite. And then yeah, so my sophomore year, he had graduated and got drafted late, and there was a lot of questions in the quarterback room.
Yeah.
And I just remember, I think one of our first games that season was Arkansas, and it was evident that there were a lot of questions in that locker room. We had just lost. Was that Wake Forest quarterback? We just had lost a dual threat quarterback.
Oh yeah,
Jamie Newman. Jamie Newman.
Newman.
He
Yeah.
opted out of the season, and so then like it was like, all right, who's next? And then Dwan Mathis, he didn't cut it, and then Stetson was the next man up. And I remember being at the Tennessee game that year and seeing him run for the first time in person, and I was like, okay, this guy can rush. I mean,
Yeah.
he's fast.
Mm-hmm.
And it was no one was ever like super confident in him. I think having like a resume of like, okay, like won the state championship at like whatever school, and like you always hear about that kind of stuff. I think that kind of helps people's confidence behind a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like not having that, and having that walk on status kind of changes people's mindset a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why it took so long to get used to him. But I really like the way that Coach Smart talks about the story. Like he kept finding ways to get on the field, like even when we wouldn't want him to. So it worked out. And last season, we started the season, I don't know if you remember, with JT Daniels.
Yeah.
And then I think during the Vanderbilt game, he got hurt, and then Stetson took over the rest of the season. And he showed that he could take the team to the next level. And there were still doubts, though. I mean, I remember at the end of the SEC championship game, people were so mad and kind of blaming it on Stetson. And I was like, okay, guys, like we really have to, at this point, you have to put all your faith in him. And didn't doubt for a second after that. And then obviously Heisman finalist, which is crazy. And still, if you read the comments, in all those posts, there's a lot of hate.
Oh, yeah.
It's normally about the age, and it's normally about, Hendon Hooker should have been a finalist over him, whatever. Yeah, I just don't think you can go back to back, and there shouldn't be any questions after that.
Come on. And especially this year, like Stetson, I feel like, last year we saw the national championship run. A lot of people were saying, oh, the defense carried him. But this year, I think he showed a lot of his leadership, a lot like of his physical tools, especially the running, like you said. I was like, he looks like Daniel Jones out there.
He's fast. No, truly. I think you're right. In some ways, you're right. Like the defense did kind of carry us a little bit last year.
Mm-hmm.
I think our offense was explosive this year, and that really helped, especially because our defense had lost a lot of key players. So I think, you're not wrong in that sense, but it really did take off this year.
Yeah.
I think having another year under your belt and having that comfortability and just knowing like you can accomplish anything at this point, that really helps. So I think starting off as an underdog is always good because it really encourages you to work harder. And then once you get to the top, like, and knowing that you can continue that and sustain that, I think that's, a great attribute to have as well. I think we're lucky to have it, but, obviously we worked pretty hard to get it. So, no, his story is incredible. I think, it almost reminds me currently of the Brock Purdy story, right? So, last pick, Mr. Relevant, and now he's, taking his team in the playoffs and hasn't lost a game yet. I think that's pretty incredible. Sort of along the same lines. I actually got the chance to see Brock Purdy in college. My brother went to Iowa State, so I got to see him. It's sort of I love the underdog story. I love it. It's so easy to root for someone that's an underdog, right? Like, because for some reason the doubters just keep on coming, no matter what it is. Any post anywhere, you just look at the comments and it's he's 25 years old. Like, all right.
Oh, yeah.
He's 25 years old and still beating your favorite teams.
With ease.
Yes. Yeah. He looks great this year, honestly.
Yeah, man. That big hats off to him. But I have to bring up this guy. I just absolutely love this guy. Tell me about my man, Kirby Smart. You're around him a lot more than me. From funny story, from anything. Just tell me everything about Kirby Smart. I just love that man.
I think we're pretty lucky to have Kirby. I mean, the fact that he went to Georgia and wants to stay here, I think we're pretty lucky to have him. I love the fact that he's assistant to Nick Saban as well, because I like those matchups. Man, I mean, boy, he's very well spoken. loud. I think he's a great coach, though. I mean, he's able to pull, you know, so many different teams together and, and still win and have sustained success. And I think that's pretty incredible. Um, One thing I really like that he said this year is like, you guys didn't win anything, right? 15 draft picks, like it's a different team this year. You guys didn't do anything,
Yeah.
right? You have to make your own story. You have to write your own book. And I think, like not really like brainwashing the team, but like making them know, like, all right, you have to like you have a ring, right? But you didn't earn it.
Yeah.
You have to make them know like this is their year. It's a different year. I think the fact that he's able to pull a whole new team together and still win like that is pretty incredible.
Very.
So I think that's a testament how good of a coach he is. Um, but yeah, no, he's a pretty funny guy too. I will say. I think I have a quote book somewhere on my phone, but
That is funny.
it is pretty funny.
The video of the leaked halftime speech from one of the games this season where Kirby is just going ham.
I know. I hate that those get released. I think all that stuff should stay in the locker room, and I hate when it gets released. But yeah, no, it's. I think you can understand if you've heard him how he's able to pull that room together. I mean, it makes me want to run through a brick wall when I hear that stuff. So
man, I thought I was going to go on the field listening to that. I was like, I just love him, man.
But at the end of the day, I mean, like he's able to do that, and he also just has so much love for the team too. Like, I think that team really does love each other, and I think that it's a family for sure. And that's one of the attributes that he really pushes is family and connection. So I think he's always pushing for that team to get closer, and he's a huge part of that. Huge part of that.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. You guys are like right at the top of football glory, and for years it felt like Kirby couldn't beat Saban, and now to see him actually dominating just like how Saban used to be, that's just great to see.
Yeah, people keep saying that, but I mean, okay, I do think like obviously we're in a very dominant era of Georgia football, but I don't think Alabama's gone. Everyone keeps saying like, Georgia's a new Bama. And Bama had a lot of years and a lot of winning. I mean, I can see how this will be like sustained success. I don't think there's any question in my mind, we're gonna have any down years anytime soon. Knock on wood. But I just don't think Bama's out of the picture. I think they're still gonna be just as dominant as they were. I mean, the losses they had this year were
very close, and they were the great teams.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not ruling them out, but no, I do think it's awesome to see, kind of finally breaking through and winning like this. It's awesome.
Yeah.
No question.
Kind of switching gears here. We initially met on an internship. We both interned at ESPN last summer. Kind of tell me how that thing came about for you and your experiences last summer.
Yeah. So I'm a double major, so I have the entertainment media side, which is a lot more hands-on, a lot more technical. I'll be editing and taking like cinematography classes, and I think that really helps my job with the team. But I also am a finance major as well, so I hope to one day work on the finance side of the entertainment industry. And I think that was a great, experience and foot in the door. And just it was good for me to test out the waters of what it'd be like to work for, an entertainment company like that. Not sure I'll move out to Bristol, but I'm not going to rule anything out. But I did say that a couple of times last summer. I was like, oh boy, it's a little sleepy town, but no, obviously we had a great experience out there. Learned a lot. Made a lot of connections. Super grateful for that experience. And I think a lot of that intern cohort, you'll see, working for ESPN. I mean, if they're not already, and some of them honestly might be on air one day. You never know.
Oh yeah. I think that class of all of us, like we were so great in our I got a crazy tongue twister just now, but we were in our own avenue. Like it was just crazy to see like what we're all doing now, just Cam, Jalen, Ben, they're all freaking Danny working there now, everybody else finishing up their college careers. So I think that was just awesome, man.
Yeah, even got some in law school, right? Ryan's in law school.
Yeah.
I think Raleigh just went up in DC for grad school as well. I mean, yeah, everybody's kind of on a different page. I think the cool thing about that experience is like everyone brought something different to the table. I think that was kind of a powerful thing. like me and Tavon, I think were the only finance interns that summer. And obviously in different areas, same floor, but different areas. And I think, you being editorial, other people being in operations, I think everyone has a like uniqueness and brings something different to the table. And I think that's why we're able to mesh well and sort of be a team.
Yeah.
But it'll be cool, to one day see, you on the face of an article and then, maybe Mackenzie on air or something.
Oh
You
yeah.
never
Oh
know.
yeah.
And then Cam's behind the camera or directing or I just love that there's so many pieces that kind of play into that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So we're kind of reaching our final 10 minutes. Kind of tell me, man, what's going on with Aaron Rodgers? I know you're a huge Green Bay
Gosh.
fan. Tell me about that, man.
I think there's too much speculation at this point.
Mhm.
But I hated seeing the Jets Photoshop of him in a helmet.
In a
I
helmet.
mean, he can't do that to me. Not after Brett Favre.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's almost like a similar situation to Brady, right? Like, do I retire? Do I stay here? Do I move? I think Brady's a little more like prevalent, I guess, because he probably is gonna move.
Yeah.
But I don't know. If Rodgers has spent his whole career here, and last year wasn't enough for him to leave. I don't see how this year would be either. I mean,
Yeah.
he still stayed after he lost his best receiver. We had a little bit of a winning streak there, and it felt like we could have had a chance to make the playoffs. I mean, winning in, lost to the Lions, tough loss, but I mean, I don't know. I can't really see him leaving, and if he does, then I'm all for at this point, see whatever works and try Jordan Love. But I don't really think you can get much better of a quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. So if you're not able to do it with him, pretty much no way in my mind that there's enough magic in Jordan Love to make it happen too.
Yeah.
But I just think I really wish that while we had Devontae, we found one more weapon.
Hmm.
All it would take, I think, to just be at that next level and just be dominant. But I think a lot of times this year, like my frustration a little bit was, I mean, Rodgers had some bad games initially, but I think the coaching is like a little off as well. Like going for it on fourth down this year felt like a pretty common thing. I like it sometimes. I like the aggression, but we didn't really get it. It
Exactly.
never really felt like it clicked. I mean, there was a little bit of time there where we were winning a lot. I'm trying to think. Oh, the Vikings game was probably the most dominant game of the season. The second game there.
Yeah.
That's when I felt like, okay, like we can do this if we keep going, but just stop steamrolling after that. I think we got a little bit overconfident.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rodgers kind of jinxed us a little bit, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a tough season, but I will say it hurt less this season, like expecting disappointment versus last year. Making it that far, having a home game,
Oh yeah.
snowy, like every advantage you could possibly want, and then
Just
it crumbles. Yeah, it hurts so bad.
I'm
But
already.
that hurts. That hurts more. So I was so mad last year.
Tell me about it. My team gave up a 27-0 lead this year in the
I
playoff.
know. You tried?
Yeah, I definitely cried. I definitely cried.
Gosh, that's rough. That is rough. Yeah, that team has a lot of potential too. I mean,
I hope.
and did you get a chance to go to a game this year, or was that last year?
Yeah, it was last season. I didn't get to go to one this year. This year though, 2023, we got a game up in MetLife against the Jets. I'm thinking
Oh
about going.
wow,
Thinking
you
about
totally
going.
should, man. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would be great. That would be great. So, final question, to wrap up this great conversation we've been having. I like to call this series Jerry and Friends. And, at the end of the day, we're friends. And I like to make sure my
of
friends.
course.
So, kind of just share with me like some of your goals for this year, 2023. What are some things you really want to accomplish?
Yeah. It's interesting you said that. I actually had a conversation with a good mentor and friend the other day, and I think right now, I guess I got to focus on more of my future, just making more connections, and pursuing old ones as well. And sort of rekindling and refostering relationships, so I can have like longevity for those in my career, and into the future. Because I'm getting to that point, so I've one more football season left in me, and one more little half year.
Oh, yeah.
Um, one more semester after this one. So I'll have to really start thinking about where I want to end up and where my next steps will be.
Mhm.
And I think if anybody told you like if they knew exactly where they'd end up, they're lying. Like you don't know where you're going to end up.
Exactly.
You may want to know or think you know, but I don't think you really do until you get there. Till you're all the way in and deep end, with a job. So I think I'm really looking forward to see where that's going to take me. You know, you know me, I always like the adventure. So
Oh yeah.
I kind of like figuring out the questions as I go along. But yeah, I think for me, definitely I want to grow in that aspect. And then also grow in like professional world as well. And just in terms of like just knowledge and skills, just becoming an expert, in my fields. And just that way I can be the best, worker I can be in the future. But I'm really, really excited for this spring.
Mhm.
I think it'll be great to have a little more time, outside of all the polls and um, the time the season takes up. It'll be nice to have a little bit of free time, kind of experiment a little bit, maybe learn some more things, post production side. Uh, you know, Maybe make some really cool content for this spring. So I'm really looking forward to that. Got some ideas rolling, so maybe I'll have to share them with you when we get the time. But
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
what about you? What about you, man? Can I ask a question on this interview?
Oh, go ahead, go
It's
ahead.
Jerry and friends. I might as well ask a question back. What about you? What are your goals for this season?
My goal, so I just got a new position with USA Basketball. So
Hey,
that's
wow! I didn't even. You never told me that.
it, literally it just happened like this week. So I'll be
Wow!
starting that next month. So
Wow!
that's one of my goals checked off. But really, it's just all about progression. Just
Yeah,
continue to progress, continue to do what I love, and to travel, man. Like I'm trying to see the world some more. So I got to make it up north to Connecticut, see some guys up there. So
yeah.
I've been calling it the Jerry Tour. So just really just
There you
continuing
go.
the tour, keeping the creative juices flowing. Just being me.
Yeah, love it. Was the first stop of the Jerry Tour Athens, Georgia?
Athens, Georgia. That's right.
Love it. Love it.
That's
Not
right.
sure if we'll make it out to Miami, Ohio. We'll see.
You guys got to come to Charlotte, though. Hey, I'm gonna make that
Hey,
happen.
that I do. I've been to Charlotte for that Clemson game.
Oh yeah,
That was a lot of fun. Queen City, right?
Queen City. Come on now.
And so yeah, hey, I'll check it out. Maybe we'll have to go to a game or something.
Oh, for sure, most definitely. Soccer season is about to start up too, so just let me know,
Hey,
man.
that's right. Yeah, honestly, that'd be great if they play Atlanta United. That'd be an awesome game to go to.
I may have to look
Now,
into.
now we're cooking up. We're cooking up. I love it.
Hey, I love it, man. But Connor, hey, it was a huge pleasure to have you on this to start off the new year. This was a great conversation, man. Wish you the best in all your endeavors, and hey, I'm just a phone call away. So anything you
Hey,
need,
same to you, man. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
hey man, appreciate that. You have a good one.
You too. Take care.
All right.